Hi guys, Keith Archberg Farms. It is a chilly morning of the first week in November, and I believe it frosted out here. Quite possibly, I don't think it quite got below freezing. Yeah, because that's not frozen. But there is definitely, there's definitely frost on the tunnels. So we'll take you out in the field real quick and take a look. And then show you what we do to kind of get everything in the farm kind of prepared to go into the winter growing season. Yeah, it looks like we got a pretty good little bit of frost out here. We turn you around and get you a nice shot of this. And there is some frosty lettuce. Not as much as usual. It's already melting. Usually I get really beautiful, I'll zoom in. There we are. Really beautiful, crystally looking lettuce pictures. But anyways, take you on a tour, show you basically how I shut everything down, get ready for winter time, because it's going to actually freeze later this week, so I have to be really prepared for that. So with the seasons starting to change, gotta kind of rethink the way things go out here. Number one, stop watering. Watering causes diseases. I've already got all of the lines shut off, so we won't have to worry about that. But it's getting ready to freeze here before long, so there's some things I'm gonna have to do to work with that. We're not looking at a hard freeze where it's gonna freeze continuously for quite a bit of time, but we are gonna start to get some freezes. Tomato tunnel all but done. It's actually really warm coming out of there. We'll still get some out of there, and even though it's gonna freeze tonight, it's just gonna be a brief freeze overnight. That's holding enough thermal mass right now that I don't have to worry about that at all getting frozen tonight. It's gonna pretty much stay the temperature it is. Get the bag in front of the door so it doesn't close on me. So I don't really have to worry about that. This tunnel down here, still debating back and forth whether I'm going to put an end wall on this right now. I'm really thinking I'm not going to, because the past couple of nights when it's been cold, it's actually staying a little bit warmer in here because it's got a top on it. I mean, just right now walking into it, it's warmer. So I think this one's probably just going to remain the way it is until we have some more extended cold periods. High tunnel, one thing I've got to do, because it is starting to get cold, is I've got wiggle wire in the edge of this. And you take this and wiggle wire these in on this side curtain. That keeps the air from getting in there. Keeps it a lot warmer, keeps the drafts down. Now I'll take you out in the field and go talk about the field as well. So the field is actually rather tricky when it comes to actually going into wintertime, but not quite all the way to wintertime. So we've already had a couple frosts and possibly got down to 32. I'm not 100% certain. But the turnip leaves, well, these are radish leaves, they're looking a little on the limpy side. Not bad. I mean, they've been hardening off pretty good. Turnips still all look great over here. Basically, these are not going to get any bigger. Neither are these. So I'm going to leave them in the ground and let them go and kind of see how far I can push them. Because if I lose the top, they're both storage crops anyways. Because I've got, let's see, icicle radishes, watermelon radishes, and turnips over here. We can just harvest them out and they'll store. There's no problem with that. So it starts freezing. Lettuce mix, like this old lettuce mix that's primarily all red. No problem with that. That is the super most hardiest stuff there is. I might even try selling a red lettuce mix because we have so much red out here, which is just amazing. Arugula's fairly hardy. I've never really worried much about that. I was really thinking about getting out the frost blankets tonight to cover some of the stuff that's freezing. They're 25 foot wide, so I could theoretically cover this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds and cover over everything we've got, but I really don't think we need to. I might, just as an experiment, because I've got long rows and the blankets are all 40 foot long, just cover these 4 beds, because I've got my brassica mix over here, and then my turnips, and then my radishes, storage radishes here. And then we'll have the other ones up top to kind of see what it does, because like I said, it's not going to get that cold. Other end, same thing, got a bunch of radishes in here as well. Really nice looking Soros. These are actually one of my favorite radishes right here. Got our head lettuce mix, or our leaf lettuce mix here. This has already been cut once or twice, so it's looking a little bit shabby. I'm not necessarily worried about that. Not really worried about these as much either. Kind of same thing. Down here, pretty much all of our leaf lettuces have been cut. They're not coming back. This time of year, they really don't come back anyways. There's not much to worry about. Our all-star mix, this stuff's basically just romaine. I'll turn you around here. This stuff's basically just a romaine and a red leaf lettuce. I guess there's a red romaine in here too. No, I guess there are some other leaves down here. But I've been holding off on cutting this, because for one, we're only cutting order right now because the farmer's market's over. And two, it's not going to grow back anytime soon. I mean, I got a little bit of grow back, but that might just be growth because of it being cut. But this is all of, that might be halfway. We got a whole nother bed down here though. And we got a full tote off of it, which is plenty more than we needed at the time. Got a little wind blowing around there. So I think, at least for the time being, I'm just gonna leave this stuff uncovered. Because the idea is, as it gets colder and colder, the more stuff experiences the cold, the more sugars it builds up, and the more antifreeze it has to where it's able to withstand colds. So the more it slowly adapts like it's doing, the better. So I think we're doing a really good job at hardening off this year. You know, this radish is awful cold holding on to it, but that's not a problem. I mean, even up here with all the carrots, they're still holding fine. They're the same thing. They'll store out here for a long, long time. I mean, honestly, I think the only thing I got to do, because it is going to freeze tonight, is I'm going to go around and we're going to start unhooking timers. I'm not going to take them off. I'm just going to unhook them so the lines can drain out. And I'm going to try to go back flush the system. It's not even back flush, more or less. I'm going to shut off the water main, and I'm going to open up the heads. So if it does, wherever it is, right there. So if it does freeze, I won't burst anything above ground. So we're gonna head back up and go where the meter pit is and start setting that up. Oh yeah, I still haven't mowed next to my strawberries yet. I probably need to do that one of these days too. Yeah, just another thing to do. So we'll head back up. Okay, so here's my old meter pit. I never did get a concrete pad built and a cover on it. Instead, I just got a cover and a tire. So it looks awful cruddy in here because I used to have a meter. Where'd I have the meter? Right? I had the meter down there, and I had a blowout. There's actually a little frog trap down there. I'll have to get him out. But I had a blowout and blew the meter apart, so I just hard piped that across. But what I have is a series of shutoffs down here. So this is my water coming in. So this supplies to the pack house, which goes underground, and also back up to the field. So in order to purge that, I shut off here. So now that takes the pressure off of the lines in the field. From here, I've got this valve right here, which will actually drain the line. I've actually got it set up to where I got to put another piece on here to where I can blow the system out, which I'll hook an air compressor and blow all the dirt out. But for now, I just want to drain them back. But I do not want to open this right now because it's still under pressure and it'll shoot me in my face. So instead, I'm going to come to my first line. We'll just take the pressure off real quick. Let the timer click. There it goes. Get this unscrewed. Like I said, I'm not going to take all these out and put them away right now. I just want them off because if there's water behind, so from this side on, it will pop these timers. There's a little valve inside this plastic, and when it freezes, it'll actually expand, and it causes it to pop inside. But you can take them back apart and actually fix them. They snap back together or screw back together. I can't remember. So I got my first line opened. So now we're going to come back over to our pit. Now is when I can open up my blowout line, which should actually allow the water to start coming back this direction. Now I'm going to end up putting some water in this hole because every time I open a line, it is going to drain back again this direction. So I'll go to the second one, open it up and show you again. So I'm over here in the first tunnel. Open my valve up all the way. And come back over to my meter again. Some trash we need to pick up. And then we will open up again. We should get another purge of water coming back this direction. This is one of the lower points of the system. Everything else goes uphill. So basically, I'm going to repeat that and continue up the line and do every single one of these. So out here in the fields on these longer drip runs, I am letting that open. I'm disconnecting from the main line because I don't want to leave this pressure regulator out here. I'm worried that if it freezes, it might destroy it. So I'm going to take that section off, and I'm taking that inside with me. I'm going to do the same thing over on this side, but I'm going to have to obviously at least take out that one screw and get the filter off it as well. Because one thing I want to make sure of is that this filter does not have water in it either, because that's also somewhere else to break. So we'll just leave that open. Actually, I'll go ahead and crack it as well. Get all the excess water out of there. I mean, never bothered cleaning this filter out, and quite literally there's nothing in it because we're on municipal water, so we don't really have any type of sediment issues in our water. Get that put back together, and we just do the same thing we've been doing. Taking our timers loose so the water drains out of them. I've also been doing manual so they open, and then turn the whole thing there. Try this again. Hold on. Good reason that wasn't opening up any further. It's because it was all the way open. That's why I was twisting it off. So that one's already open, so that one's good. So now I've got every single one of my valves open. I'll go back out and go to the meter, make sure everything else is opened up. Now, it's very important to winterize your system like that, because pieces like this are rather pricey. These are about 12 to 15 bucks a piece. Even like my little, whatever way you want to call them, boiler stops, hose bibs, whatever you want to call them, those are $10 a piece. I have, see, 12 of those out here, So if they pop, I lose $120 worth, and I got to go through and replace them, which takes even more time. Other things with the system is if it freezes up, like say underground, and I have a line burst, then I got to find where it burst, go back through, and then replace that later, which involves digging and a whole bunch of other time-consuming activities out here that I'd rather not deal with. Like in the timers, same thing, take them off, let them drain. Right now with just a one night freeze, I might have another opportunity to water again. We're getting so late in the season, I very, very seriously doubt I will. But since I don't have the time just today, I'm just gonna let them free. I'll go back through and I'll pick all of those up, and then I'll take all the batteries out and store them over the winter so we can get them out next year. And next year I will put brand new batteries in. I will not even try to use the ones that are in there, because I know from experience they will die randomly through the year on me as the season's progressing, and I lose stuff when it happens. So back up to the meter pit, I'll turn you around. So as you can see, I've still got water flowing back in here. Shut off here. So this is water coming back in from the irrigation system. Like I said, it's not frost proof, it's only about a foot down, so it'll stay good for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll leave this draining, leave it open. That way if we do have anything freeze, we have somewhere for it to release the pressure. From there, stick my fancy lid back on the hole, which is another project I need to finish. And the other half of my lid, so just like a water meter, it's got a lid on it, it's got a hole, so theoretically the cold does not go through because the ground's releasing heat upwards. At least that's the way it works. That's the way your water meter doesn't freeze up during the winter. So when it does really start to freeze, we come over to our walk-in, our original reach-in fridge. Not currently being used because it's all now storage. We've got shade cloths in here, we've got insect netting in here, and then we've got our Remay Agribond floating row cover, whatever you want to call it. We have two different varieties in here. We've got one that is 4 foot wide that does a single bed, and then we've got really big sheets in here somewhere that are 20 by 40, so they cover 4 beds wide halfway down, so 4 beds worth. Thankfully we're not going to get those out right now. I do need to fish one out of here. Hopefully we've got one a little bit more accessible, because I am going to cover the celery tonight, because celery is highly does not like to be frozen. When it does, the veins pop up on the inside and it ruins it. And it doesn't really ruin the flavor, but it ruins the look, and it makes it a lot harder to sell it when it looks like that. So this is what I'm referring to as floating row cover, or the Agribond or Remay or Typar or whatever you want to call it. There's a whole bunch of different names for it, different weight, different materials. It's a spun material. It is this stuff is rated as a 15, which I believe is 2.4 ounce. I think that's ounces per yard or something like that. So basically it's floating row cover. It floats on top of it. There's no hoops, no nothing. I just have it sitting on the ground. I guess I'll turn you around real quick. And it's just covering the crop. I mean, we'll do this in the field and weight it down, but being here in the tunnel, as soon as this side curtain closes down, it won't be moving anymore, and I won't have to worry about that. So, well, hope y'all like what you saw today. Not a lot of information, but it's a lot of really useful little tidbits of information that really come in handy this time of year when things are starting to freeze and slow down. Basically, so you don't destroy a bunch of equipment. You preserve your crop as long as you can in the field until you need to sell it. And then after that, once it's gone, get the rest of the winter off. So either way, if you kill it, you get the rest of the winter off. So win-win. I'd rather sell it. But same thing, row cover, very important. It's a tactic that you use certain times. Right now I'm only covering the celery because that's the only thing I'm worried about freezing because of the crops I have out here right now. And like I talked about with the other tunnel behind me is full of tomatoes. There's enough biomass in there. 32 is not going to even harm that thing. It'll be just fine. It'll be warm and humid in there bright and early in the morning. So, hope you like what you saw here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Have a good day.